So this will be my review of Godzilla times Kong, The New Empire. Saw the movie this past Saturday night, and I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of it right here. Now, the current Godzilla Kong monsterverse has been going on for 10 years now, since 2014's Godzilla. And I believe it's been the only successful non-MCU attempt at doing a cinematic universe. There was proper build-up leading up to what they had promised and what everyone wanted to see, and that's Godzilla vs. Kong. While no one would accuse the movie as being much more beyond just a fun monster fight film, the movie definitely delivered on what people wanted to see, and those were those epic matchups between Godzilla and Kong. Unfortunately, the movie was released during the time when the world was still kind of icky and COVID-y. It was March of 2021, so its theatrical release was very much limited by normal standards of where we are today. Although it's a testament to how audience responded to the film, because given when it was released plus a simultaneous release on HBO Max, it did really well at the box office. At the time, doing $100 million domestically, $470 million worldwide is the equivalent of like $200 million domestically, plus 700 plus worldwide in modern times. Given the potential of what another installment could bring, it's not surprising that Warner Brothers wanted to give Lizard Man and Monkey Boy a follow-up sequel with Godzilla times Kong, The New Empire. In this film, Monarch, and that's the Titan research organization, journeys back to Hollow Earth to uncover a mysterious energy occurrence. While this is happening, Kong discovers that he's not the last of his kind, and Godzilla on the surface world is gearing up for a massive threat that he senses. The movie just has a great summer blockbuster feel and look to it. I know it's not actually being released during the summertime, but spring break is kind of a de facto summer movie season now. But still, you can see that a lot of money was spent here. The movie just looks great. Whether it's the settings of Hollow Earth, the Titans, the destruction, even some of the cinematography, when they're showcasing notable landmarks like the pyramids or Colosseum, it all looks fantastic. It's what you want to see in a giant movie like this. In talking about movies like this, I'm referring specifically to these MonsterVerse movies. The level of interest in the non-Titan scenes has certainly gone through its ups and downs, and that's to be kind. It's the main thing that stood out about the recent Japanese-produced Godzilla Minus One was how good its human drama actually was. While nothing in this movie is gonna win any awards or gather praise on that kind of level, I think the human stuff here does a solid job of anchoring us through the story and the action. Notable people returning from the first film is first Rebecca Hall as that Monarch Titan expert, and her adopted daughter who was a native of Skull Island. While all this crazy monster stuff is going on, they have a little mini story about her daughter adapting to life in regular society, and that was okay. There's also Brian Tyree Henry, who returns as a Titan enthusiast slash conspiracy theorist, and he's got his own podcast going now. In the hands of someone like Michael Bay, this probably could have been a pretty cartoonish, annoying character, but he had a lot of funny moments here, even though story-wise he didn't really contribute that much once they actually got to Hollow Earth. The movie's main setting is pretty much entirely Hollow Earth, so even during these non-Titan scenes, you're at least getting a unique setting, journey to the center of the Earth style. But enough of the bullshit. The Titans are definitely what we really want to know about here. Much like Godzilla vs. Kong, even though Kong has second billing in the title, he's much more so the protagonist here than Godzilla. He's got the most engaging story out of anything else going on here. We see that he's clearly bothered and lonely now that he's seemingly the last of his kind. But eventually he finds out that that's not true. There's other giant monkeys. Giant apes. Even taking up one as his apprentice, a red mini Kong figure of sorts named Suko. All this ape action leads to the film's main antagonist, and that's the Scar King. An ape with some super long arms, and he has an ice-breathing Titan under his control. He's definitely another quality Titan villain like King Ghidorah was in King of the Monsters. The ape stuff is definitely consistently the best part of the movie. Despite no dialogue, they just do some amazing stuff, making all of them expressive, not just Kong. And this will make for a nice double feature with the upcoming Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes next month. Now, in the first two standalone Godzilla films, he was portrayed in a much more heroic manner than what was showcased in Godzilla vs. Kong and this film. These last two films have established that he's kind of an asshole, who doesn't really give two shits about protecting humanity. All he really cares about is establishing his dominance over the other Titans. These movies are always amazing when he's on screen, but it just always feels like there's kind of a struggle to get him on screen for extended periods of time, until the end obviously. In this film, we see that he's on a mission to sort of power himself up for an upcoming threat that he senses. And we see this develop in sort of small segments throughout the movie, but nothing that's like too long or extended, like the repeated Kong segments that we see in this film. Although once again, it's established here that Kong is just no match for Godzilla. I mean, that atomic breath alone is the ultimate trump card for any fight against Kong or any other Titan. But just the first time that we see him in this film, Godzilla, and the fight he has with another Titan, all I could think is, holy shit, you know, the dude is just a menace. Big G definitely felt a lot more slower and more lumbering in his first two standalone Godzilla films, but now that he's a lot quicker and more agile, which his opening scene established here, plus his durability and his atomic breath, you know, whoa, just whoa. And then when he finally gets his upgrade as he evolves and powers up by the end of the film, game over, man, just game over. The only reason that Kong wouldn't get annihilated on the spot is the upgrade that he eventually gets, kind of gets a Thanos Infinity Gauntlet looking power glove. Now it does take some time before the whole Godzilla with / times Kong dynamic takes place. In fact, it was getting to the point where I was about to accuse the movie of some false advertising before the two finally got together. And in all honesty, my favorite moment in the whole film was that moment where the two saw each other for the first time again. You know, Godzilla isn't as facially expressive as Kong is, but you can definitely tell when he's pissed off. And those shots of him, plus the havoc that we'd seen him wreak throughout the entire movie, leading up to this whole scene where the two see each other again, all I could think was, Kong, run. Needless to say that this whole sequence where the two finally came together was definitely the highlight of the movie. Just the tension, the build-up, the way it was shot, oh my god, it just looked spectacular from beginning to end. Now, all of these MonsterVerse films have had great climaxes, and this film is no exception. This one is different in how it's dynamic and how the setting changes from one venue to another. It's not just a one-on-one battle, which the other films mostly were. There's actually a lot of Titans that get involved in this whole big climax at the end. The humans even get involved in the action in a meaningful way. And as always, these cities just get absolutely destroyed by the end. All I could think of after seeing the city that gets leveled at the end here is why the would anyone live near the ocean in this world of Titans here? You know, we saw Boston just get wrecked in King of the Monsters. Same with Hong Kong at the end of Godzilla vs. Kong, just get absolutely leveled. By comparison, what happened to San Francisco at the end of the first Godzilla looks like 9/11 by comparison. But the final 30-ish minutes here is definitely a lot of fun and where the movie delivers on what most came to see. I did have a problem with the actual end of the movie. Not the climax, but the actual ending. It just wrapped up so goddamn quick. I get it in this world now, you know, they're sort of used to these Titan battles. But man, just a little more of a wrap up, I felt would have done this movie some major good instead of just a quick 1, 2, 3, boom, and it's over. But definitely, I had a lot of fun with the second duo outing with Godzilla and Kong. While the movie wasn't exactly of 2 hours of the two together, there was enough there to hold your interest and keep me entertained until the eventual clash and team up with the Titans. Perfect popcorn movie, I'd give it 8 out of 10 roars. I definitely think that there's more good here than there was in the previous film, Godzilla vs. Kong. My overall enjoyment, though, it's still relatively close, just because I did think that the fights in Godzilla vs. Kong were better. Those 3 mega fights that the two had, where it's just like, wow, this build up to what the MonsterVerse was leading to definitely was worth it for those fights there. The rest of the movie, though, Versus, was definitely a lot clunkier. My auditorium was pretty packed, you know, saw it in Dolby on a Saturday night. I would have liked to have seen it in IMAX, but my work schedule wouldn't allow me to see that, but I'll definitely try IMAX for my next showing. But yeah, definitely seeing it on the biggest screen possible is definitely the way to go for this film. So that'll do it for my review of Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching.